Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the Detroit Tigers. Now when we left off, I thought I was leaving you guys off of what was episode 1 of the off season, but I actually decided to just not make a part 2 because all that was really left was spring training and kind of going over the cutting down of the roster, and that just wasn't long enough to make it its own video. So I'm just gonna go over all that stuff quickly before the season gets underway, and then we'll continue this episode as normal, kind of with the player recap, the beginning of June, the Rule 5 draft. Not the Rule 5 draft, the first year player draft, that kind of sort of thing. And just kind of a note here, if you've been wondering where I've been for like the past week or whatever, just basically my work schedule is just a little too busy recently to really make any videos. So videos kind of, again, I try to get one out every day. Sometimes that just doesn't happen, like last week where I really just didn't get any videos out the entire week. But just know that I am trying to kind of get as many videos out as I can, because I really do enjoy making this stuff. Now without further ado, let's go ahead and look at kind of our lineups for the season. As you notice, I've already gone through one game in this season, just because I had the sim a day just to kind of get the kind of alignments where I thought they were best and where I like them. So let's go ahead and go over kind of what our team's looking like this year. So we're again carrying 3 catchers, Sigler, Collins, and Turner. Sigler, he's our defense first guy. He's pretty much always going to be in the roster. Collins can hit right-handed pitching. Turner can hit left-handed pitching. Both of these guys are candidates to DH. Against kind of each handedness, as you see here, Collins, every 5th game, he's getting the DH spot against right-handers. Kind of with our versatility of how our position players works out, we really are fine. I'm kind of covering the field, so we do have room to carry 3 catchers, especially that the kind of overall roster total is 26 now. So, we can have 13 guys on our team, 13 batters on our team, I should say, really without any problems. So, first, actually, I do have an injury of note that actually kind of affects us. Blaze Jordan, he got hurt in spring training. Of course, he actually performed decently well against left-handers last year in his platoon. I think he was starting kind of every day at some point because Ian Happ, I think, was, how the injuries worked out. Ian Happ was DHing / playing right field a little bit, if I remember correctly. So Blaze Jordan was getting everyday at bats at some point in the season, but nevertheless, he was pinch hitting quite a bit. So he's out only for 1 more week. So he'll be back soon, and then kind of the platoon will probably pick up again. I don't know who I'm gonna send down. It might have to be that 3rd catcher when we have to bring Jordan back up. But for now, this is how we're kind of rocking. Pretty much normal stuff here. Happ, Freeman, Walker, Stott, the new guy who we brought in to play short this year. He's at shortstop. And then Paolini, Bryson, kind of manning the outfield. They return. And then Purdue, actually, he's going to be our starting right fielder this year. Now, he, of course, has no major league experience yet. He's 23, almost 24. Pretty decent corner guy, not really rangy, but has a good arm and doesn't make many mistakes in the field. So he is kind of starting in right field for us. Again, I said kind of in the offseason that we were going to use a lot of our young guys pretty early in the year, and he's going to be starting out the season on the major league roster. I didn't really feel like it was worth it to kind of wait on some of these guys' service time, because most of these guys are 23, 24, 25. So there's really no point in delaying their clock any further, because we really do want to get the best of these guys anyway. So yeah, he's in right. And then Bullard is actually he's going to be starting the season as our DH, so another young guy filling a hole for us. And his hitting ratings are pretty interesting. Not great contact bat, but lots of power and lots of walks that he's going to get. Really has no speed, can play a little third, can play a little right at this point. I was kind of thinking that he might be part of a first base platoon with Ian Happ kind of against lefties, kind of replacing that role that Blaze Jordan was in. But for now, it looks like he's going to be DHing, and it looks like we're probably going to need that. So for now, he's going to be DHing at least. And then we have Bowser, Collins, of course, kind of backing up. and Bowser, of course, again, backing up second base, and Freeman backing up shortstop. So again, our depth is pretty decent with this team. There are definitely some guys who are going to be coming up later in the season. We have Jordan Henderson, who's really going to be the first guy off the bench. The first guy really that we call up if we need someone. He can play all the outfield spots and first base. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be the first guy. Like, unless like we need a middle infielder or something, then he probably wouldn't get the call. And of course, we have Carlos Perez, who is a very good rated catcher who we just don't have room for. And then Travino, he's a first baseman who also is probably going to be get a look if we have corner guys go down this year. So again, he's going, or if Ian Happ struggles, that's also a possibility there. So now we're going to go over pitching. Our starting rotation, Mackenzie Gore's ratings dipped all the way down to 4 stars after that last season. So he's not even slotted to be the first guy in a rotation, which is not good. This mega contract looks like it could be very, very bad for us. You know, these mega contracts, very rarely are they worth it. But, you know, kind of as a mid-tier budget team, a contract like this would really wreck us. So hopefully he can be good at least for the next few years, and then maybe we could move him. Rocker's ratings have gone back up, which is kind of interesting to me, though. Even after a very poor opening day start. And Loizaga, Flores, they're both back. And then Ronnie Garcia, he's going to be navigating that 5th spot out of the gate for us. So we'll see kind of if he is able to stick there for the entire season. But basically our whole starting rotation is back besides Joey Wentz. And then, of course, Munoz, the reliever we brought in, he's back. Montoya, Nelson, kind of in the setup roles, and a bunch of kind of guys who you'd expect to be here. Robson, Vasquez, Christopher Sanchez, who we brought in as a depth piece. But he's going to be that second lefty over Anderson, Severino. And then we have Tyler Chadwick and Miguel Diaz, both guys who kind of are long guys, but can be starters. So they'll probably fill in if there are any injuries to the rotation. And Jesse Bullard is actually a bit of a two-way player. His pitching ratings aren't the greatest. As you can see here, not really any movement, but decent stuff, decent control, and good fastball, curveball, actually. Okay changeup, so he's probably not going to get the most innings for us as a pitcher this year. But, you know, he's going to pitch a little bit. We can use him some low leverage situations. And then pitching depth-wise, it's kind of the same deal with hitters, actually. We just have a bunch of young guys here. Dindoad, he's been around for a while, so is Lipple, Davenport. Paolini has actually seen Major League time, actually a bunch last year, 50 innings. So those guys, I mean, they've, you know, pretty much Paolino's the only guy with Major League experience. So again, kind of relying on young guys who don't have much experience to kind of be our depth this year. But I'm pretty confident because their ratings are pretty good. And unless they're kind of like the Robson mold where they have just high reliever ratings, but they never are just good for some reason, they should be fine. So all of that depth should be fine as long as we don't have to go too deep, and really as long as we don't have any like middle like infield injuries, because again, that's where we've been pretty weak this entire series. Really specifically shortstop. I mean, if Freeman gets hurt, that just means Bowser gets more at bats. I mean, at this point, they're essentially like the same player anyway. I'm literally like identical. Good on base guys, and just good hitters in general. Okay at second base. So, I mean, that should be fine. So I think that's all I have for going over that kind of stuff, and I'll see you in June when we do the draft and go over some performance for the year. So yes. Alright, so we are back, and the season has actually been going extremely well to this point. We're 41-18, the best record in the league comparatively, and our expected win-loss is actually very similar. It's like a game or two off or something, but our performance has well warranted our actual records at this point. And I mean, in the American League, we're kind of heads above the league, with the next team being the Orioles with 36 wins, and we're already 10 games up on our division. So things are looking very well, very good looking to us clinching the division this year. And then in the National League, everything's kind of a jumble of teams with similar records. So very, very far ahead at this point. And I guess when you score the most runs in the league, or in the American League, I think, this team stats rankings is based on, at least. So yeah, most runs scored, pretty good in all of the other offensive categories. Good in on base, good in OPS, and battle wars, good in our WOBA or WOBA, second in the league. So very good offensive performance. And we also just happen to have the best pitching in the league. First in runs against, first in FIP, first in pitching WAR, first in strikeouts. Kind of a meh to bad defensive team. But I mean, when we're hitting like we are and pitching like we are, especially with the amount of strikeouts we have pitching wise, things are very, very good. So now I'm gonna look at of course, team performance to this point. But first, injuries. Michael Flores, he actually tore his labrum, and his season's pretty much probably done. 3 months remaining on the shelf. So I mean, maybe possibly he could come back for the playoffs, maybe, or something like that. But he's really done. So fourth spot of the rotation could be something we look to upgrade at the deadline or something. But we'll see what we do with that. Anthony Sigler, he actually has been on the shelf for a while. He was hurt for about a month, maybe a little more, I believe. He's just now starting his rehab assignment, so he's going to be coming back. Which is a shame that he got hurt, because he actually was performing very well offensively, the best of his career at least to date so far. So hopefully he can continue that when he comes back. And then actually 2 big center field injuries. So we have Joseph Rutten and Cesar Sanchez, who kind of came up with us last year, and were both Rule 5 picks last year, actually, I believe. And they both were getting center field duties. Rutten, he got hurt first, I believe. And then Sanchez got hurt second. Let's actually take a look. He last played on May 22nd. And Rutten last played on May 12th. So Rutten actually did get hurt first. So Rutten got hurt first. And then about a week later, Sanchez got hurt. So our center field depth was very thin at the least after those guys went down. Or even before those went down. I mean, those two were the only guys who we have who are major league ready and can play center field. So things got a little bit interesting. And with that said, let's go ahead and roll into our lineups. So as I said, Sigler was down. So Carlos Perez is one of the guys who we called up to take his place, or the guy we called up to take his place on the roster. He's been okay offensively, just below league average. Corey Collins has been awful offensively for some reason this season, after a great offensive season last year. So hopefully he can turn it around, because we'll definitely need his bat at the catching spot, because he doesn't provide much defensively. That's for sure. Ian Happ has been very good. Hasn't actually played much first base, but he has been good. In the at-bats he has gotten at DH, it looks like he has been playing a lot. Did not mean to click on play Blaze Jordan. Just how many games has he played at first? He's played 27 at first, and he's also made some appearances in right field. So yeah, he's been very good for us this year. Blaze Jordan, kind of the player he's been recent. Hitting for high power still, and not really getting on base much. BABIP is high, so that's probably going to come down, but still a productive player for us at this point in his career. Jose Travino, he just recently got called up after the what injury was it? I think it was the Sanchez injury. Yeah, it definitely was the Sanchez injury that he got called up, just because, I mean, we didn't really have anybody to exactly replace him in center field. So we just called up another bat, which kind of has been hurting us, because we don't really have any right-handed bats off the bench, or bats that can hit left-handed pitching at that. So Travino, he's been okay, very limited at bats, so nothing really to read into there. Bowser and Freeman have both been good, especially Freeman. Freeman has been monstrous. The OP was supposed a little bit better than Bowser, but Freeman 411 on base percentage, pretty solid there. Another guy with a good on base so far this year, Jesse Bullard with a 70 rating. He's been extremely good. He's been getting playing time, a lot of playing time in right field against lefties. Yeah, he's been starting there against lefties, and he's been pretty decent, OPS plus 127, cannot complain about that. Very low BABIP, so when that comes up, and it really should, he'll be doing even better. So that'll be great. Jordan Walker, he's having a bounce back year. On base is up, and highest of his career, I think. Power numbers a bit up. Maybe, not where we like it at BABIP, but it's kind of high, which scares me. But playing great defense at third base, and good to see him bounce back a little bit from a very poor season last year. Bryson Scott, now he has been a surprise. He has been hitting extremely well, of course, not for much power, but that on base is very high, and he's been our leadoff guy against righties, and he's been very, very good in that spot. Now, Stephen Paolini, he's been kind of disappointing this year. Going back to those numbers, in his rookie year and his third year in the league, not the guy we saw the last 2 years for sure. And that BABIP is low, so hopefully he can come up, but he's barely hitting above league average. And he's not very good in the field, so as bad as all of his value, really. So hopefully he can kind of get better there. Jeremy Henderson, he's been filling in center field for us this year, and he's been pretty decent in the kind of limited time he's gotten. He's, not really center fielder, more of a first base and corner outfield guy. But, his range isn't half bad. It's 60, and his center field rating was actually like 30 when he started, but he's been pretty good in center field for us. So, in that bat, I mean, maybe he could be a possible solution if, Rutten and Sanchez aren't able to come back, and if they aren't able to hit, I mean, I think I might just roll with Henderson in center field if he can provide okay defense and hit like he has been. Bill Padua, he's really our right-handed power specialist that is hitting against right-handed pitching. He's been decent. OPS plus barely above league average, plays okay defense, not rangy, but has a great arm, like I've said before. But he's been okay, and his batting ratings are god-awful against lefties. I'll show you them right now. Yep, bang, really bad against lefties, so he's not getting any bats against them. So I'm really only playing against righties, and again, flashy that lineup quickly again against lefties. Really only changes Bullard and right. Jordan, getting pretty much all of the first base at bats. Travino is getting every third game or something against righties, and pretty much letting it DH. Bowser second base, and Happ is kind of backing up kind of everywhere against lefties. And then here's our pitching, which has been extremely good. I'll show you real quick by FIP, and Vasquez has been the worst guy. So if he's been the worst guy, our team is kind of really going on all there. Vasquez, of course, I'm confident he'll bounce back. He's, of course, our best lefty out of the bullpen at the league, where there aren't really any good lefties. So he has been, he's an important guy for our team. Now, Garcia and Diaz, they've been, kind of meh, kind of filling that, Wentz role, just eating innings and being, just okay. So they've been pretty fine this year. Diaz's ERA is kind of high, but, looking at his FIP, that's been a lot better. He strikes out a lot of guys, so that should be fine. Rocker, he's been, I'd say that he hasn't been that great, but that FIP is kind of decently under 4. So, I mean, he's been great for us. Better than he was last year, at least. Way better than he was last year, at least. So, hopefully he continue this pretty good performance. Ben Dewad, we called him up after the Flores injury, and he's been pretty good out of the bullpen for us. FIP under 4. Robson having a career year. Montoya, he's probably having a career year this year after a god-awful season last year. Nelson, he's having a great year. Mackenzie Gore kind of returning to what he was maybe in San Diego. Those ratings still down, but still a good season from him. Great season from Loizaga so far. So, maybe last year, thought that signing, maybe, not the greatest. A really low money, long contract. Or at least we have 2 more years of him. I don't know why I thought the contract was so much longer, but at least 2 more years of him. Blair Optop's there, which you would probably keep. But not been bad for us. And then Munoz, who's actually pending an injury right now, but he's been fantastic for us this year, kind of as a elite closer. Well, hopefully that injury doesn't keep him out for too long. Christopher Sanchez, he's been a good lefty of the bullpen for us. And then Tyler Chadwicks just been absolutely ridiculous. Last year he missed most of the year because of an injury, I believe. Yeah, he only pitched 19 innings for us last year. I think the year before was when he had 2026 when he had the major injury. The end of the year, only got in 1 game with us before he got hurt. Was good with New York though before that, or was bad with New York before that though. But yeah, he was bad with New York before that. Didn't get much time after coming back from the injury. Wasn't on the playoff roster, I don't think. And then this year, he's been absolutely lights out. I mean, he is filthy stuff. Good fastball, good sinker, good curveball. Guy who could start if we needed him to, probably. But, I mean, he's been dynamite this year. He's been absolutely filthy. So, I mean, that's really all to say about that. And then let's go into the Rule 5 draft. I don't know why I keep calling it the Rule 5 draft. The first year player draft. And then we'll finish out the episode. And we're picking 27th. Player development has really been kind of at a premium this series. I never usually develop players this well. But this year, I mean, I've just been kind of on a roll with developing guys this season. So, we'll see if we can nab another few guys in the early rounds. It wants me to pick Kimber, but he looks like a reliever. And the guy TJ Reese here, who's accidentally sorted by name, let's sort by potential. There you go, TJ Reese is here, and splitter knuckleballer, interesting. Only 83 miles an hour. This guy looks like a definitely one of the more interesting pitchers I've seen so far in this game. Jaden Price. Don't know about his demand. That is. Reese is kind of high, so maybe not looking for him right away. See if he could be there in the next round. I do like J.R. Aarons here. Rangy shortstop, probably more of a second baseman. But if he can get on, like his hitting ratings kind of look like, he could be a nice little player for us. Robbie Delwey, a college shortstop. I think we're going to go with Aarons, to be honest here. Let's check these outfielders real quick. Yeah, we're going to go with Aarons, so we'll go with him. And then we'll see if Price is still available after this round. And he is not. Jim Casterline is here, and he looks pretty good. Extreme ground ball guy. Let's see who it wants us to pick. It wants us to pick this guy who looks pretty solid. Our scout likes him, and I think we are going to go with the Bubba Patry here. Corner outfield guy. I don't know why I didn't recommend him before. His ratings are very nice. Wants us to pick Delby now. He's okay. Good defensive shortstop. Actually, I think we will, because his hitting ratings look like they have potential. It's a high or a low strikeout guy. Looks like he has a good feel for the bat, at least, and not a lot left. Mauricio Lopez. Looks like he could maybe be a fringe major leaguer type of guy. Noise, meh. Mike Beeble. I mean, great range. No air rating, though. Chris Baltz. A no from him. It's kind of just, looking at these position player guys who are available here. Yeah, not a lot. I think Babel's who we're going to go with here. There. And then, let's see what else is available. Not fantastic guys left. Yeah, only 2-star guys left. Eric Gordon. No. And let's see if we can find at least, maybe at this point, in the draft, mainly looking for guys who I think could, be platoon-ish guys. Nate Craddock doesn't look too bad. But I mean, it's basically just kind of nitpicking at this point. This draft doesn't seem the greatest. I already looked at him, I believe. Yeah, I mean, this draft does not look too great. I think I might go with that one outfielder up there. Yeah, because this doesn't look great. Was it Craddock? It might have been him. Or Collins? Or it was Braddock or Edwards. Or Craddock or Edwards, I mean. Yeah, we're going to go with Craddock. So go ahead and throw him in here. another left-fielded glove first center fielder, and then yeah, that should do it for that. I'm not really interested in any of these guys who are left, so we're gonna go ahead and skip to the end of the draft. Oh, not the current round. I'm gonna complete the draft. Autocomplete draft, not round, and that's gonna go ahead and should wrap it up for this episode. So we went over the team, drafted all the guys we wanted, and then we'll be kind of heading into the All-Star break and trade deadline next episode. So again, thank you guys for watching. I apologize for the lack of uploads recently, but I mean, there's nothing I really do about it. So I've been working a lot and just haven't had time to get videos out. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.